I'm Kaylee Krause, and today I'm presenting on the Ziegfeld Follies. So who started it all? Florence Ziegfeld was born in 1867 in Chicago. He was born in a pretty poor family, and then he died in 1932 from a sudden illness. So he was very interested in theater, and he married Anna Held in 1897, and Held became his muse and kind of a driving force for the Follies, but due to gambling and other women, it caused the marriage to end. And then he quickly married Billie Burke in 1914, and she was with him until he died. Ziegfeld was known for having a key eye for aesthetics, and his unflinching and at times straight up obnoxious ability to delegate really helped the Follies with their success. He was known to create drama for his girls for publicity stunts, one of them being a lawsuit with a farmer, and he claimed that the farmer sent sour milk to Miss Held for her daily milk baths, and it made the news. His motive was he wanted to elevate and glorify the female figure by making sex delightful and amusing to audiences. Now, some timeline of the shows. So the Follies started in 1907 at the Jardin de Paris, and they were there from 07, 08, 09, 010, and to 1911, where they moved in 1912 to the Moulin Rouge for a one-year show. Then they moved to the New Amsterdam Theater in 1913, and they were there 1913, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And then they went back to Europe to perform for a year at the Globe Theater, and then they came back to their favorite New Amsterdam Theater in 1922, and they were there till 1927. So 1927 is when the shows stopped becoming every year and their popularity began fading a little bit. So in 1931, the Ziegfeld Follies performed at the Ziegfeld Theater, built by Mr. Ziegfeld himself in New York. And then they performed at the Winter Garden in 1934, and they were there on and off till 1943 and then 1957. So a visual for you. Top is the Jardin de Paris. They performed at a rooftop theater there, and they were there for 5 years. And then they went to the Moulin Rouge for a year. And then this is the New Amsterdam Theater, which turns out to be a very interesting theater. It is the oldest performing theater in New York, and in 1993, Disney signed a 99-year lease with it, and it is now known as the Disney Theater. It was the original house of Lion King, and now it has Aladdin. But during the Ziegfeld Follies times, it is said that Olive Thomas, a Ziegfeld dancer, died in 1920 of mercury poisoning. But her death was not sure if it was an accident, a murder, or a suicide. And so she now haunts the New Amsterdam Theater, and it is said that she glides across the stage blowing kisses. So the New Amsterdam Theater, they were there for 8 years and then 5 years, so they did a total of 13 years there, and it is their most famous theater. This is the Ziegfeld Theater, built by Mr. Ziegfeld himself in New York, and then this is the Winter Garden Theater. And then this is Olive Thomas, the ghost of the New Amsterdam Theater. Some important dates. They ran from 1907 to the 1920s, and in 1907, 15,000 girls auditioned to become a dancer, and he only accepted 3,000. And you'll find out more why only 3,000 were accepted later. So the first was Anna Held, his wife. She became his muse and became kind of what he strived all the girls to be. She was European, she was very petite, gorgeous, had a young figure, so she became kind of the Ziegfeld Folly. Doris Eaton, so that's Anna Held. This is Doris Eaton Travis, and she was the last living Ziegfeld girl. She died in 2010, so unfortunately, anyone that probably went to the see or participated are all dead now, because it was the 1920s. During 1932 to 36, the Ziegfeld Follies had their own radio show called the Ziegfeld Follies of the Air, where they played music, talked about the dances, just kind of a typical radio show. And then the National Ziegfeld Club was an organization of Ziegfeld performers, It became a charity, and their goal was to keep the memory alive, and they gave out a Billy Burke Award for female composers, which they still do to this day. So what were the Ziegfeld Follies? They were known to be glorifying the American girl. They were trained pretty dancers who would wear elaborate costumes and walk around the stage. Some famous Follies were Lily and Lorraine, Jessica Reed, Billy Burke, Fanny Bryce, and Anna Held. So earlier I said that only 3,000 girls were accepted. The reason being that it was very strict to be a Foley. They had to be at measurements of 36, 26, 38. They had to have a perfect gait. They had to master the Ziegfeld walk, and they had to have a willingness to be nude, both performing photographs and in practice. So it wasn't all fun and games. The rehearsals would start at 10:30 in the morning and routinely pull 12-hour days to perfect the routines, get the costumes right, and just get the show looking perfect. So as you can see, these are very beautiful women. And it is said that admirers would indicate their appreciation of particular showgirls by sending precious jewels to their dressing room and constant bouquets of long-stemmed roses. The Ziegfeld Follies became kind of celebrities of their day. They knew they were beautiful, they enjoyed being beautiful, and they really lived it up. So one way that they would do this is, besides performing, he would take many photographs of the girls. As you can see, they were usually half nude or all nude, and it was really to just show the true beauty of the girls, and there really wasn't any stone left unturned when it came to photographing the girls. So this is a video from one of the movies, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and it obviously has the glam of Hollywood, but it does do a good way of showing how they would walk, how they would act, and most importantly, the elaborate